Hey friends, Ash here with Gents coming at you guys with my top 10 summer fragrances for 2010 Designer Edition. The Niche Edition is going to be out soon, but like usual, starting with the designers. I'm not going to do any honorable mentions this time, just my top 10. And this one has a lot of different fragrances from last year. Some of the ones from last year just completely dropped off, and some that I haven't featured in a while are back on. The reason for that is because new year, new taste to an extent. Some of the fragrances I wore last year I got maybe a little tired of, and I'm switching things up a little bit this year. We've got a lot to talk about, so let's jump into this top 10 designer fragrances summer 2020. First up is a fragrance that got a good amount of hype when it was released. A lot of people love this fragrance, and I'm one of the ones that did love it as well. It's from Varvatos, and it is Artisan Pure. This one has clementine, petitgrain, mandarin orange, lemon, and thyme as some of the notes in the fragrance. So you're going to get a good amount of citrus in here. It has almost a little bit of a white floral touch to it too, which makes sense because of the way the bottle looks here. This nice, clean, white look. Kind of makes sense that it would have a little bit of a white floral vibe to it. And by that I mean it has a fresh, soft kind of citrus vibe to it. Very refreshing, great for warm weather, great for daytime wear and casual wear as well. Also a big compliment puller. The sillage on this fragrance though, a little bit on the softer side of things. It doesn't have monstrous projection. That happens a lot of times with summertime fragrances. They're not really loud typically because it's oftentimes very hot in summer and they don't want to give you a fragrance that's going to be cloying. Longevity though is pretty good. So the performance isn't weak all the way across the board for this one. Varvatos for the longest time has been known as a house that has pretty good quality fragrances, and this one stands right at the top of the heap along with Varvatos Vintage for me personally. So number 10, Varvatos Artisan Pure. It's gonna take me to number 9, and this one, a little bit of a blue fragrance, or a bit of a blue fragrance. It's this one, Bvlgari Acqua Atlantiqve. Now, this one gets compared by some people to Versace Dylan Blue. There is a bit of a similarity between the two fragrances, but they're not the exact same. There are some notable differences between the two. There's no incense in Acqua Atlantiqve. There is benzoin, there is sage, whereas those are not in Dylan Blue. And there's also no pepper in Acqua Atlantiqve, which you will find in Versace Dylan Blue. Another thing with this fragrance, and this is gonna sound kind of weird, but some people pick up what smells like eggs from Acqua Atlantiqve. I don't get that personally, but enough people have brought that up that there's a possibility that this might have some egginess for you. I know that doesn't sound good, that doesn't sound appealing at all for a summertime fragrance, but like I said, thankfully, I don't get that. It's got ambergris or ambroxan as one of the main notes in the fragrance, along with bergamot and sea notes or aquatic notes. There's also lemon in here, so kind of a combo, a citrus combo with the bergamot and apple. Like I said, this is a blue type fragrance, so that means it's very versatile, compliment pulling, easy to wear, daytime or nighttime. That's what this one is. That's one that I liked a good amount when it came out, and then I kind of let it fall by the wayside, didn't wear it too much. So this year I'm gonna try to wear it a bit more. Gonna take me to number 8, and it is from the house of Jimmy Choo. It is Choo Man Ice. And this is one that I've actually liked for quite a while. Now, it's not gonna get the most love from hardcore fragrance people because it is ultimately a Jimmy Choo fragrance, and Jimmy Choo is not really a house that's looked at super favorably by people that are hardcore into fragrances. All that being said, this fragrance is actually really nice. It's got a similarity to Dior Homme Cologne that gets brought up basically every time somebody brings this fragrance up, but they do differ as they dry down. So in the opening, Jimmy Choo Man Ice definitely reminds me of Dior Homme Cologne. It's got an icy sort of lemonade vibe. That's what everybody will say about it anyway. But as it dries down, this one introduces some woods into the composition, so it becomes like a fresh, aromatic, woody kind of fragrance, whereas Dior Homme Cologne does not. There's a good amount of citrus in the opening, citron, bergamot, orange, woods in the base like I talked about, and ambroxan as well, and the atomizer is really good also. A little bit Dior-esque with the atomizer. It's a very icy, refreshing fragrance, hence the name Ice, and that kind of icy, refreshing citrus lasts for a good amount of time in this scent as well. Performance, not amazing, but the price on it, very good. From there, let's go to number 7. This one is a Dolce & Gabbana fragrance. It is light blue, Eau Intense. And this is one that has grown on me over time. I bought this brand new, yes, this huge bottle, and over time, given more wearings, I've grown to like this one. And it's not that I disliked it originally, it's just I like it more now. Seawater, grapefruit, orange, amberwood, and musk, some of the notes in this fragrance. This one, very similar to the original light blue, but in my opinion, an improvement pretty much all the way around. It's got a salty aquatic opening with citrus and a brisk juniper. As it dries down, it's got a modern amberwood and musk base. It is a little bit dense as far as aquatic fragrances go, so this one is not one of those sort of fragrances that's very light and airy. It does have a little bit of oomph to it. It's not supremely complex in the sense that it has a whole bunch of different nuances going on, but it is very wearable, very likable, very versatile in summertime. And for me, this one, Light Blue Eau Intense, is the best flanker that Dolce & Gabbana has had in the light blue line, probably in the past ever. Yeah, maybe in the past ever. All right, it's gonna take me to number 6, this one from the house of Prada, and it is Prada L'Homme L'Eau. Last year, Prada L'Homme Water Splash was featured very prominently in my top 10. I wore that a lot, and I do like that fragrance, but as of right now, I'd really rather wear this one. This has iris, powdery notes, neroli, and ginger. That's some of the notes in the fragrance. It does have that Prada L'Homme iris DNA. So powdery, soapy, fresh, clean. It's got a crisp, zingy ginger in there, bits of neroli, and then a light woody base as it dries down. Great, great fragrance for the office or for casual situations in the summer, or if you're gonna be in a high heat formal situation, something like this would kill it as well. So number 6, Prada L'Homme L'Eau. Takes me to number 5. This one is from Mugler, and it is in their Mugler cologne line, but it's not Come Together or the original Mugler cologne, although that one is great also. It's Fly Away. So Mugler is all about marketing when it comes to these fragrances, and they have hidden notes. So this one has a hidden C note, and some people say that it's cannabis is the hidden C note. It starts off with a really fresh, sparkling sort of grapefruit, very grapefruit heavy and grapefruit forward. There's also a bit of green in there, like a green hemp in the opening. As it dries down, the grapefruit fades away a little bit, musk starts to come in, and it gets a little bit camphorous with the green note in here. Depending on who you talk to, some people will say, oh, there's tons of cannabis in there, I can pick it up easily. Other people will say, I don't pick up cannabis at all, it's not in there, I don't get it. For me though, it's all about the opening. That grapefruit smells awesome with a bit of greenery in there, and as it dries down, gets a little bit camphorous, like I said, with the residual grapefruit from the open, and musk. Smells awesome. That one might be a little more divisive than some of the other ones on here. Some people absolutely love it. I've seen a couple other people say they don't like it at all. For me, it's a love. It's gonna take me to number 4. This one from the house of Zegna, and it is Acqua di Bergamotto. Now this one has a strong similarity to another Zegna fragrance, which is much more expensive, called Italian Bergamot. It has C notes, bergamot, of course, also other citrus and floral notes. The performance on this one is not great. That being said, you can pick this up for very cheap from discounters as of right now. So one of those fragrances where it doesn't cost too much. So if you need to spray heavier or reapply, it's not a huge deal. Extremely fresh and uplifting, maybe a little bit basic, but as far as just clean florals with citrus, this does it very well. Smells amazing. Like I said, just uplifting, refreshing, a high heat sort of fragrance. Acqua di Bergamotto, awesome scent. Gonna take me to number 3. This one is a huge release, of course, because it's a flanker and one of the biggest fragrance lines of all time. Acqua di Gio Profondo by Giorgio Armani. This one has aquazone in it, so a lot of aquatic notes here. Also mastic, rosemary, bergamot, mandarin orange. This one to me is kind of like modernized Acqua di Gio with a little bit of a green touch to it. So it's got that classic Acqua di Gio DNA, which everybody knows. It's a big compliment puller. It's extremely versatile. For some people, maybe it's already played out because it does have that Acqua di Gio DNA. But like I said, for me, modernized with that green touch, smells fantastic. And performance on this one quite good as well. So number 3, Acqua di Gio Profondo. That's gonna take me to number 2. This one is also a newer fragrance. This one from the house of Yves Saint Laurent. It is Y Eau Fraiche. Lemon, ginger, lavender, geranium, and mint, some of the notes in this fragrance. And this one is not gonna get love from everybody in the fragrance community because it is a member of the Y fragrance family, which does catch a little bit of hate. And also, this one is not extremely complex and it's not trying to be a work of art. This one is just an extremely easy to wear high heat fragrance. That's what it is. It's a dumb reach kind of fragrance, the type of scent where if you're going out and it's hot outside, you're going out on the town, you're going out with friends, you're going out to a park, you're going out to the store or to a restaurant, wherever, honestly, it doesn't matter. You can grab this, you can spray it on, it's gonna work. It's going to offend nobody. That's what they're going for. So is it something mind-blowingly unique? No. But does it smell really, really, really pleasant? Well, 99% of people smell it and like it. Yes. And that's why it's at number 2 on my list, because I can imagine countless situations where I would just grab this off the shelf, spray it on really quickly and go, not even have to think about it. And that's gonna take me to number 1. Now, this is not a newer fragrance. This is one that used to get a good amount of hype in the community, a lot of love. Doesn't get talked about quite as much anymore, but I went back and revisited this fragrance and I was just blown away again. I was like, yeah, I gotta wear a lot of that this summer. And it's this, Hermes Un Jardin sur le Nil. Grapefruit, green mango, and tomato are some of the notes in this fragrance. Quite different than most of the other scents on this table here. There's also lotus flower and bulrush, among many other notes. And this is supposed to smell like a garden on the Nile River. This one is a big departure from most of the other citrus and aquatic fragrances featured in this list. Oftentimes when it comes to summer fragrances, they are more boring to me than fall or wintertime fragrances. Fall and wintertime fragrances are usually, rich and deep with more complexity, more things going on. Summer fragrances a lot of times is like, oh, citrus, ginger, musk, stuff like that. And while that smells great and it's very approachable, something like this really sticks out. The complexity of the fruits going on, the florals, just everything in here working together in harmony, really painting a picture of a time and a place rather than just being an aquatic. And so for those reasons, this one is number 1 on my list. Just stunning fragrance many years after its release. All right, guys. It's gonna do it for me for my top 10 designer fragrances for summer 2020. These are some of the scents I'm looking forward to wearing this year. Like I said, I'll have that niche list out pretty soon, hopefully in the next few days, and then that'll wrap up the summer list for this year. Let me know in the comments below some of the fragrances that you guys are gonna be wearing. As always, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Thanks for all of your support. Stay safe out there. See you guys again tomorrow with another fragrance video.